Oh, sorry.
Okay. কে হারবে কে জিতবে আমরা পরে দেখবো লাইভ we are live, so plenty of action coming in from Perth. What now, 12 hours to go, exactly 14 hours to go for the start of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. The breaking news that we are getting is Rohit Sharma will be there before the Canberra match, and this we have been saying on Rev Sports for the longest time, so it is nothing really that is new. Rohit Sharma was always due to get back by the time of the Canberra game. He will play that day-night match, and thereafter he will play the second test in Adelaide. That is what we are getting, and we can now tell you that that is possibly what is happening and what is the most likely scenario at this point in time. We will discuss Shubhayan and Rohit will also join, Trisha will also join, and Devashish has already joined. The most important factor that we are now still debating is who is the number one spinner. Bharat Arun has batted for Ravichandran Ashwin. Lot of people have batted for Ravichandran Ashwin. मामा सो जाओ कल उठना है जल्दी. अरे भाई पार्थ में क्यों जल्दी उठना है? पार्थ में
কে
तो आराम
বলছে
से
রে?
बैठेगा. और
এটা
अभी तो
কে
साढ़े
বলছে?
सात बज रहा है, वो क्यों सो जाएगा? वो अभी उसको शो करने दो, डिस्टर्ब मत करो. ईशान, कैन यू प्ले दैट Bharat Arun clip on Ravi Ashwin, and then I will go to Devashish on that. If Ishan, if you have that ready, kindly play it. This whole thing about Ravi Ashwin, how he bought into that formula and what really happened. And Saurav Ganguly in an interview to me said, play your best spinner, play your best spinner. Where does Bharat Arun stand on that? Is it go with your best spinner? And how did you and Ravi and then Ashwin bought into that plan for Steve Smith the last time round?
Ashwin is a very, very wily bowler, and also he would have done a lot of his homework on the Australian batsmen. And last time he was he bowled magnificently for us. Even in 2018, when we did start off, he bowled really well. Jadeja has his own strengths, but right now, my first pick would be Ashwin, because of his experience and the confidence that what he did in Australia the last time around.
So clearly, Ravichandran Ashwin is Bharat Arun's choice. Namesake Bharat Ramraj has also joined. Devashish Sen, that is a clear-cut statement coming there from Bharat Arun. What is likely, Devashish Sen? Ashwin batting quite a bit, Jadeja equally good. This is a tough call for India.
It's tough for me as well, Buryada. Means what I can observe from the nets is that both Bharat Arun, both Ravi Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja has been working hard in the nets. Today also they both came for the optional practice session, and they batted for a long time. So clearly, obviously, but I would say odds are slightly in favor of Ravi Chandran Ashwin due to the fact that Australia have as many as 5 left-handers in their side. So that might be the only reason that might influence the team to play in a Ravichandran Ashwin, which normally, if you look at the recent past in overseas conditions, the team management has overly been dependent on Ravindra Jadeja. But this time round, things might be different, especially with the bounce here at the Optus Stadium. So that might help Ravichandran Ashwin. It goes to be seen whether the team management finally decides to go in with a Ravichandran Ashwin. They must have decided by now, as clearly Jasprit Bumrah in that pre-match press conference really did say that we have finalized our playing 11. So it's about the fine.
Go on.
Yeah, it's about the fine tuning with means obviously Ajit Agarkar and Gautam Gambhir were seen having a long chat with Ravindra Jadeja. Whether there is any communication with Jadeja that you are not playing, I am not privy to that conversation because I was far away from in the nets, but I could see that both. In fact, I have also sent a photograph of Jadeja and Gambhir having a chat. Because Jadeja is also a senior player, means you just cannot leave out a senior player like a Jadeja. So I think whether it is communicated to Jadeja or Ashwin, that will depend. But definitely only one spinner for me, because Nitish Reddy is all set to make his debut along with three pacers. So only bone of contention is to who gets an opportunity as the lone spinner in the side, whether it's Jadeja or Ashwin.
here. Mama, can you talk about Adam Collins is speaking so much in favor of Australia, also calling BCCI unprofessional with respect to CT and Park? Who is Adam Collins? Why should anybody have to talk about Adam Collins? Why should you even waste 1 second on Adam Collins? Don't. Adam Collins is not relevant, completely irrelevant. So let's not waste our time on Adam Collins. You ask what Mama is thinking. You ask what Bharat is thinking. Why are you wasting your time on Adam Collins? Don't do that. More questions. Ishan, can you play that clip once more? I want Bharat to take that also. Just play that Ravi Ashwin Bharat Arun clip once more, please. This whole thing about Ravi Ashwin, how he bought into that formula and what really happened. And Saurav Ganguly in an interview to me said, play your best spinner, play your best spinner. Where does Bharat Arun stand on that? Is it go with your best spinner? And how did you and Ravi and then Ashwin bought into that plan for Steve Smith the last time round?
Ashwin is a very, very wily bowler, and also he would have done a lot of his homework on the Australian batsmen. And last time he was he bowled magnificently for us. Even in 2018, when we did start off, he bowled really well. Jadeja has his own strengths, but right now, my first pick would be Ashwin because of his experience and the confidence that what he did in Australia the last time around.
Bharat Ramraj, Rohit Juglan also joins us. Rohit will talk us about the Rohit Sharma update that Shomik and Rohit were talking about some time back, which we've broken. I was watching his Hindi show, but before that, Bharat Ramraj, take that. Ravi Ashwin, because of what he did, Trisha's also joined us. So Bharat first.
Yeah, I guess the odds are still in favor of Ashwin only as far as the lone spinner for tomorrow's test is concerned. One of the things I guess he did well with Steve Smith was he was always looking at Steve Smith's hand patterns. There's a school of thought at least going around. I guess Ashwin also believes in it. It's not about Smith's feet movement. You always look at Smith's hand patterns, how he moves his hands, and that is how you get the cues. I guess that is where Ashwin did well. I know there are specific field placements, but the main factor of how he was able to pick cues from Steve Smith's hand pattern. So, and also obviously Australia have the left-handers, 5 left-handers, as Devashish has already said. So, considering all those points, I guess they will go with they'll go with Ashwin. Though I would also add that Washington Sundar in a series against New Zealand was in prime form, imparting so much of overspin, but India obviously will consider experience and look at Ashwin to come on top against Steve Smith and all those lefties.
Rohit Juglan, what's happening with Rohit Sharma? Are we correct when we said last week only he will play that Canberra game? We are getting reconfirmation. You said the same. Shomik said the same. I found out the same. Is that what you are getting before I go to Trisha? What's the exact update? And then take the Ravi Ashwin question.
Yes, Buridha, what I can confirm is that he'll be traveling on 23rd. He'll be traveling on 23rd and will reach here by 24. So on day 3, I think, of the Perth test, he will join the squad and he'll be here. And as we mentioned earlier also, that he will definitely going to play that Canberra game. What I also came to know that there was a delay because earlier he's coming here before this test match only, but there were certain delays, and after that things were postponed, and now he'll be here on 24th is what we are getting. Earlier I was only getting this that he'll be here before the Canberra test and he'll play the Canberra test, but now what we are getting, still I'm in touch with my source to know the exact date and details and the timings, because there are 2 different flights from Mumbai to Perth. So we'll give you our viewers each and every detail about Rohit Sharma, because that's a very important news and a very very motivational one. Because here, when I was talking with some local people here living in Perth, they really want to see Rohit Sharma. They were really saying to me that when will Rohit Bhai is coming. So I think it's a huge boost for team also. We were listening to Jasprit Bumrah's press conference. We were there. So Rohit is also mentioning about Jasprit is also mentioning about Rohit. Mokel said a few bits about Rohit also. A few days ago, ago when we were having a chat, I think Debashish Da asked from Travis Head about Rohit. So everyone, be it on the local papers, be it on the Aussie journalists, they were already asking us that when is there any date? Is there any date coming as far as Rohit Sharma is concerned? So finally it's here, and let's see. We'll provide you all the visuals, all the details about Rohit Sharma, that when he's touching.
It's natural, Rohit. It's natural because ultimately he's your captain. I mean, the Jasprit Bumrah is a stand-in captain. Rohit Sharma is the captain of this team. He's the leader. He's the boss of this ship. So it's only natural that the team will want him. There will be interest around Rohit Sharma. If there is no interest around your captain, then that's not fair. Trisha Ghoshal, the question we are asking is Border Gavaskar Trophy now bigger than the Ashes? This is cricket's primary property. Are you in agreement? Because monetarily, commercially, interest-wise, look at what's going on in Australia. Debashish showed us the Perth station, every paper, Hindi, Punjabi, etc. Where do you stand, Trisha Ghoshal? Is this the world's greatest cricket property?
Absolutely. I think it's one of the world's greatest rivalries. And
not one. Is it the number one cricket property, Trisha? Take a stand. Come on.
Absolutely. It is the it is the biggest and the greatest cricket property standing right now. I think Ashes is something that is still hyped because of the tradition involved in it. It is more about the traditional part of things, but as far as rivalry is concerned, you can't really match this India Australia, especially when India is playing in Australia. When Australia plays in India, yes, it's a big rivalry, but when India goes down under, the story is different. And I think the Australian team knows that, and that's why they start their mind games pretty early. They say, oh, we are prepared, India can bring whatever they can, and all that. So I think definitely, for sure, for me, this is the greatest rivalry in cricket.
Devashish Sen, where do you stand on this? Give us also a sense. Perth is a relatively small city, a dead city, compared to a Melbourne or a Sydney. But you showed us the station. Tell us about the branding, the papers, the interest, the fans. I will ask Rohit the same, and then Bharat. Are you seeing this build-up? You and I have been in Perth before. Have you seen this kind of a build-up? I haven't. I haven't seen this kind of a build-up to a bilateral series. Devashish Sen.
Boria, just a mere coverage of in the build-up to the Border Gavaskar Trophy is huge, massive. All the top ex-cricketers are contracted. All the top Australian cricketers are contracted. Be it an Alan Border, be it a Mitchell Johnson, be it a Justin Langer, be it a even for that matter, Harsha Bhokle and Ravi Sastry are with the 7 cricket, and also the Cheteshwar Pujara, the man who played so wonderfully well in that last 2 Test series. He's also been contracted. I am told that. I don't have the confirmation, but you will be the better man to say. Saurav is also coming, if I am not wrong, in Melbourne or Sydney, if I am not wrong. I am told, but with the hype, today Pat Cummins was asked. Pat Cummins was asked by an Indian journalist that too much I have been noticing back in India about the media coverage with the Punjabi and the Hindi heading. So Pat Cummins also said that yes, I have come to. I do not follow newspapers, but what I have come to know is that there will be commentary in several languages, and it is well. It is well for the game, and the Border Gavaskar Trophy has gone huge in last few years. Means if you just the numbers, just the viewership, it has skyrocketed. Yes, it as Trisha rightly said. Traditionally, Ashes will still rank as the best. I mean, when it comes to tradition, Ashes will be the best, but Border Gavaskar Trophy can easily match to Ashes.
Bharat Ramraj, Lawrence Booth has done a good piece saying England doesn't match overseas. I mean, the moment England travels overseas, they become a half team, and that's what adds value to this Border Gavaskar Trophy. Because when Australia travels to India, they are competitive 2-1. When India travels down under, India has won the last two times. So clearly, that is what has made the Border Gavaskar Trophy so much more interesting from an intellectual standpoint compared to the Ashes. And of course, the kind of Indian migration in Victoria, the diaspora is massive. I've lived in that country and taught in that country for several years. I can tell you from in Melbourne and the outskirts of Melbourne, I see Desis and Indians. By the dime and the dozen. In Sydney, you will see huge Indian populace. So the commercial side aside, Bharat, is it because of the competitiveness that this is now cricket's foremost rivalry?
Obviously, that's one of the key points. Obviously, England compete against Australia in England, but whenever they go to Australia, at least since 2010-11, when they won the series 3-1, or before 2010-11, right down to 1986-87, they've rarely competed against Australia in Australia. So that's one of the key features. Even if you go back in time, not just after 2010-11, even if you go back in time to 90s, 94-95 Ashes Test, first ball itself, Martin McCaig bowled a rubbish delivery and got smashed by Michael Slater. So from there itself, England's downward journey started. It wasn't anything different in '98, though they drew the test at Gabba. They got crushed at Waka in the second test, and after that again their downward journey started. Something similar happened in 2002-03 or 2006-07, obviously 5-0. Yeah, there was one series in between in 2010-11 where they played really well. Alistair Cook, Jonathan Trott, Jimmy Anderson, and all those guys played so well. They won the series 3-1. But after that, again, it has been a complete downward journey for the England team in Australia. So that obviously matters. While Indian team over a period of time after that debacle in 99, 2000 under Tendulkar's captaincy in Australia, India have competed much better in Australia. Let it be 2003, 2003-04, 2007-08. Even under Kumble's captaincy, they might have even won that series. But for whatever controversy that happened in Sydney. So yeah, barring that 2011-12 series, India has competed much better, and obviously the 2020-21 series in Australia, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, at least one of the three greatest test series ever that has taken place since 1877. That must have taken even the branding side of things as far as Border Gavaskar Trophy to another level. And obviously, India allow their cricket Indian fans. So when you consider all that, I think Border Gavaskar Trophy is now has beaten the Ashes in terms of what can you say rivalry, and in terms of what can you say marketing and branding side of things.
Rohit, tell me a sense. Parth, you've been around the city. What are you seeing? Are you seeing branding? Because ultimately, this is Test cricket. This is not a T20 or a white ball where you get that kind of branding. But the kind of hype I am seeing around this Test series is unreal. And by the way, as Rohit speaks, we will play Cheteshwar Pujara's message to the Indian team. Ishan is getting that ready. So Cheteshwar Pujara has a message for the Indian team. We will soon play it the moment Rohit's answer finishes. Rohit, tell me.
Yes, Burida, as Debashish at the very start has already told you that, every Australian cricketer has a contract. Last time when they had it, I really don't know, because Michael Vaughan writing a column about this, that you in individual capacity there are battles in Border Gavaskar Trophy, but he's in that article. I'm very sure in that article, whatever I read in that article, I came to know that he's just trying to put a point that because of the history they have, because they have a 200 years history or 180 years history back, that's why he's trying to say that, oh no, Ashes is traditional, Ashes is this, Ashes in that. But if you talk about on individual capacities, the individual battles, I think the other day Nathan Lyon also said about this. Nathan Lyon said that individual battle wise, currently if there's anything on the top, is India versus Australia. And you, as you rightly mentioned, broadcasters wise, revenue generating wise, the market wise, it is the most talked about rivalry. It is the most, as I said the other day also, you then enlightened us on that in August, in September, where the Australian footy will take over as all the paper headlines. At that point of time also, it was all about what each and everyone from India to Australia and Australia to Indians were saying. Even the ex-cricketers, the predictions and the desperation for that matter, for Australia also. So yes, I think as far as hype, the hype, yes, from the metro stations to the local roads and crossover bridges, and from fans standing right outside those practice area grills, the sneak peek which Devashish Da has already sent from the Waka, it all shows that everyone want a glimpse of this. And there are some reports also that on Saturday it was a house full. It's house full here. It's not a India Pakistan, it's a India Australia on a normal even they haven't started, means the holiday time is not even started, it's a month away from here. So already on Saturday, this Optus ground will be full. So I think as far as each and everything about it, you see the 360-degree perception by the market, by the broadcasters, by the players, by the fans perspective, and you will only get one thing, that there's nothing bigger than this India versus Australia Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating account there. I'll come to all my guests, but let's Shubhan joined us as well. Ishan, play the Cheteshwar Pujara clip, please. Let's take the Cheteshwar Pujara clip, his message to the Indian team, and I'll go to all my guests.
All right, अगला सवाल सुबायन से. सुबायन.
हाय चेतेश्वर भाई, अभी मैं यहाँ पे ही बैठा हूँ पर्थ में, और जो पिच मुझे इस टाइम पे दिख रही है काफी हरी है, और इसको क्यूरेटर ने कल बताया था फास्ट एंड फ्यूरियस, एक टर्म दिया था। तो ऐसे पिच में जो यंगस्टर्स है, स्पेशली जो फर्स्ट टाइम खेलेंगे, यशस्वी हो गए, ध्रुव जुरैल हो गए, देवदत्त पडिक्कल का नाम आपने लिया, इनके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज रहेगा? क्योंकि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में खेलना काफी टाइम इंटिमिडेटिंग भी हो जाता है।
देखिए, उनको मैं यही कहूँगा कि सबसे पहली जो बैटल है वो मेंटल बैटल है। वहाँ पर आपको एक सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस रखना पड़ेगा। वहाँ पर आपको खुद को पहले एक बिलीफ होनी चाहिए कि मैं ये कंडीशंस में रन बना सकता हूँ, यहाँ पर मुझे कोई डर नहीं है। यहाँ पर जब पेस और बाउंस रहता है तो कहीं ना कहीं बॉल बॉडी पे लगने की एक डर होती है बैट्समैन में, वो डर निकालना पड़ेगा। और उसके बाद आपका जो फोकस है वो हर एक गेंद पे होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में आपका जो एज अ बैट्समैन कंसंट्रेशन लेवल है वो बहुत ही ऊपर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि वहाँ पर कहीं पर भी कंसंट्रेशन में थोड़ा सा भी लैप्स होता है तो आप जल्दी से आउट हो सकते हैं। तो वहाँ पर एक आपका सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस, दूसरा आपका कंसंट्रेशन, और उसके साथ में कौन सी बॉल खेलनी है और कौन सी बॉल छोड़नी है वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रखता है। क्योंकि पर्थ में जैसे बात करिए वैसे पेस और बाउंस बहुत ज़्यादा रहता है, तो नॉर्मल पिचेस पे जो बॉल हम खेल सकते हैं वो पर्थ पे काफ़ी बार नहीं खेलनी होती है, उसको छोड़नी होती है। तो वो जो एडजस्टमेंट करना होता है वो नेट्स में करना होता है, और उसके ऊपर वर्क करना बहुत ही ज़रूरी होता है।
He answered that question well, Shubhan. He answered it in detail, and some really important points about leaving the ball, focus in Australia, intensity in Australia. I'll come to that because it was your question. But where do you stand on the debate, Shubhan? Is this the biggest cricketing property, Border Gavaskar Trophy? Is this now bigger than the Ashes? Is this cricket's jewel?
Has to be. I think in the last decade or so, it has overtaken Ashes. Yes, Ashes historically remains something which can't be matched, but property wise, viewership wise, hype wise, sponsorship, and everything, fan craze. I think India Australia has surpassed the expectations, the results, the kind of matches we have seen in the last decade or so. It has surpassed the expectations of everyone, and plus the quality of both the sides. England, see, we keep talking about England, but England, to be very honest, have not been able to produce results on the field. Yes, they have done well here or there, but in Test cricket, yes, in white ball cricket, they have redefined the game completely. But in Test cricket, yes, you can talk about baseball and all, but where do they lie in the WTC cycles championship table? They lie, I think, say last or second last in that table. So unless and until, if they, yeah, Ashes in the context of WTC final, it's like this is a do or die series for both India and Australia. If India win 4-0, Australia are out. If Australia win against India, India are out. So the context, the matchups, I think this has surpassed the expectations, the valuation of any other bilateral series in this entire cricketing world, in my opinion.
Tisha, Cheteshwar Pujara's comment, your take on that?
I think Shubhai asked the right question to the right person. Absolutely, one of the best technically. So when Chiteshwar Pujara talks about batting, you listen, because and especially in Australian pitches, Pujara has shown that uh, Pujara has actually practiced what he is preaching right now. That leaving the right balls and not losing focus at all, because. Boryada, we all know how the Australian pitches are, especially this Perth pitch is going to be testing the Indian batters right up. And I think what I really liked is the sort of clarity that Pujara has in his head, that, these are the things you need to do, but you need to do this in the nets so that, you don't make any last minute adjustments in the match. And we all know that when you're batting, you can't suddenly make a last minute adjustment, so you have to do it in the nets. You have to practice in the nets. And I'm just hoping that he has texted or called a few of the Indian batters and spoken to them before the series, so that, they listen to it.
Devashish Sen, Rohit Juglan, question to you. Did they actually do that? What Pujara was saying? You guys have observed the nets very closely. How many balls did the Indians leave? Devashish Sen, you've seen all of them bat at the nets. Talk about what you've observed, because Pujara was talking about nets and how important. Rishabh Pant batted an extra 2 hours. Your thoughts? Did they leave too many balls? Rohit Sharma talked about leaving balls last time in England. So clearly, this is very important.
Yeah, clearly, if I talk about yesterday's batting session, because today Ashwin and Jadeja were there along with Rishabh Pant, but if I talk about yesterday's batting session where all the batters batted, yes, and particularly Virat Kohli and KL Rahul were seen leaving the balls. So it is, as Pujara rightly said, it is about leaving the balls, because that extra bit of decision making can cause your downfall and can get you the wicket. So that will be very interesting, and that will be key. That will be key for India to do well. India haven't done well in the last time they played here in the test match in 2018-19. They lost the test match. So a lot will depend on how they leave the ball, how they make that final adjustments. Pujara also emphasized that the batters need to make this adjustment by practicing in the nets. Now it goes to be seen how it is reflected in the middle when they face the likes of Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood. So that fraction of the difference, the decision making may lead to your downfall. So that will be interesting. But clearly, it was evident. It was evident during the nets. They were quite obviously they were leaving the balls, so, and they were trying to defend, playing with a straight bat. But not so the case of Rishabh Pant. Obviously, for Rishabh Pant, obviously if there's a ball to be hit, he will play some extravagant shots, and so I think there is some planning behind. Obviously, Abhishek Nair. Obviously, we should mention his name, Abhishek Nair, particularly Gautam Gambhir. These two are working on the batters today. Ryan Dashkate was seen spending a lot of time with Ravindra Jadeja and Rishabh Pant. So clearly, there is a planning. There is a planning and the preparation how the Indians should go at the Optus Stadium for the first Test match.
Before I go to Bharat Ramraj, Cheteshwar Pujara against Nathan Lyon was a very interesting battle. Devashi did not mention Nathan Lyon. That's also something that the Indians take a lot from. Daniel M. Why is Jasprit clutching on to the 2021 BGT series win when Tim Payne poor captaincy handed the series to India, and India just got whitewashed by Kiwis whom I didn't even expect to even. What are you trying to talk about? So if I say that India has handed the Kiwis the series, so that undermine the New Zealand win? What are you trying to talk about? You mean to talk about that the 2021 Border Gavaskar Trophy was not a great win by India? Are you daft? Bharat Ramraj, take that question about Cheteshwar Pujara and Nathan Lyon. Is there a lesson the way Cheteshwar Pujara handled Nathan Lyon for the rest of the Indian batters?
Oh, the thing I guess Cheteshwar Pujara did well was to use the depth of the crease. I guess that's the main thing. And if you are going to use the depth of the crease, then you're definitely picking the length very well. So I guess that is where the simple funda comes down to. Even if you ask the Tendulkars or the greatest batters in the world, or even Pujara or whoever it is, they would always tell, pick the length early, play late. So if a batter is able to pick the length early, then he would be able to play late. Another thing I guess Pujara did well was, Nathan Lyon is your traditional Australian off spinner. Yes, he imparts over spin, but his line is always outside off. So I guess for what Pujara used to do well was get his front foot outside the line of off stump, and then he used to play shots or defend. So that would negate, at least nullify one at least one of Lions' way of dismissing a batter. So I think that's another point that Indian batters can look at, because his typical Australian off spinner comes from Ashley Mallett's school of off spin bowling. So most of his deliveries will come from outside off. The line will always be outside off. So if you can maybe negate that, at least the LBW aspect. I know in Australian conditions, too many LBWs may not happen. LBW as well as even the forward short leg, caught it forward short leg by going outside the line of stump. That could negate a couple of ways that line would get a wicket. Also, I just wanted to add about Pujara leaving the ball. Him talking about leaving the ball. That's an old school of thought that yes, at the old Waka, but the conditions are somewhat similar, old Waka and the new Perth Stadium. There's a old school of thought that if you leave the ball for the first 20 or 30 minutes at the old Waka, then it would become one of the easiest tracks to bat on, because at least in the first innings you will get more bounce in the wicket, true bounce. After that, obviously, there will be a little more variable bounce in the third or fourth innings, but in the first innings you will definitely get true bounce. So if you leave the ball for the first 20-30 deliveries, then it could become actually a flat track for a batter. So Cheteshwar Pujara obviously hit the nail on its head when he talked about leaving the ball and getting used to the conditions.
I thought that was a good question by Shubhan Chakraborty. Rohit Juglan, my problem with a lot of questions. See, Ujjal, Budholia, Daniel M, a team which gets whitewashed at home can't be part of the toughest rivalry. Are we? I mean, Indians, do we not take pride in our achievements? Every team has lost here. Australia 2018, they lost. 2021, they lost to a half Indian team. Australians take pride in their achievements. Why is it that Indians don't take pride in their own achievements and हम idiots है क्या? I mean, अपने लोगों का अचीवमेंट में हम लोग सबसे ज्यादा, वी डोंट नीड अदर्स टू कम एंड क्रिटिसाइज अस. हम खुद ले रेडी है झंडा लेके, हम लोग अच्छा नहीं खेलते, हम लोग इडियट्स हैं, हम लोग बुरे हैं. कम ऑन मैन, कम ऑन. I mean, Indians are the biggest problem with Indians. 2021, if somebody tells me it was not a great series win, then I don't know what a great series win is. Rohit Juglan, is this an Indian problem?
Yes, Burida, why not? Because with too much population, it's always will be there. Multiple thoughts, and things coming it like this. That even if you are saying that 2021, one of the greatest victories, not even in India history, but if you see the Test cricket's history, there are means we talk about 2001 also. Again, we were termed as underdogs. The way they won the first match in Mumbai, and after that, we turned it around from Kolkata. So I think be it 2001, be it 2021, these all are some wonderful moments and historic moments in Indian cricket. But these are again those trolls. You can't make them happy in anything. Sachin Tendulkar's 100, they will tell, oh, he's a selfish player. Virat Kohli, no, he's arrogant. Cheteshwar Pujara, oh, he can't play white ball. So they have everything for everyone. If you give them 5 World Cup trophies, 100 centuries, 10 IPL trophies, and then you are the best batter in the world, after that also they'll say that, oh, you are a arrogant batter, or you don't have manners to how to talk to the people. So I think these kind of people, we don't have to take them seriously. Means you will find them each and everywhere. You'll see one of the greatest innings of like Virat. I was watching one of the innings of Virat Kohli, means not one of the Perth innings, when he said that this was my best innings here. Day before yesterday, I think BCCI uploaded a video, and there was this thing that you have to ask your next player a question. So one, I think Sarfaraz Khan has asked Virat Kohli that question, that your best 100 in Australia, and he said that 2018 Perth. And I was just watching the highlights, and then someone commented in the comment section that after that also we lost. So means with that the greatest innings, one of the greatest innings in those kind of situations, You can't. That's what I'm saying. That you can't make them happy. You know, even when Mahendra Singh Dhoni was collecting that World Cup trophy in 2011, everyone is saying, give it to Sachin, give it to Sachin, give it to Sachin. So I don't know. Means how can you make them happy? There are, you know, there's no end to it, Burida. There's no end to it. So
This is
it will be
disappointing. This
good
is
for
this
us
is
if we
this is
ignore them.
disappointing. I mean, one thing I can tell you, Shubhan will be very happy tonight because Devashish has made chicken curry with a lot of love. So I can tell you that Shubhan will be extremely happy because Devashish has cooked chicken curry for him, and Devashish reported that to me,
One
saying, "I've made
one
chicken
day I'll
curry very
hope
well."
that Devashish Da will cook something for me also.
Devashish, now you are under pressure.
Devashish Da
Devashish, you
cornered
must
me.
make some.
Devashish Da cornered me. Has given me the most corner room.
Mute, mute,
भाई,
mute.
आप हम कभी भी ऐसा महसूस मत करना कि दो बंगाली है आपके साथ। आपके लिए मैं वेजिटेरियन खाना बनाएगा अभी। आप चिंता मत करो, फील एट
Already,
होम। मैं बड़े
already,
भाई होने
already,
के नाते आपका देखभाल करेगा। आप
already
काम
missing
पे
my
फोकस
wife.
रखिए। बाकी मैं टीम मैन हूँ। मैं आपका पूरा स्वास्थ्य का ख्याल रखेगा। दोनों को आप
Whoa!
स्वास्थ्य का ख्याल रखेगा। बिकॉज़ मुझे क्या करना है? आप दोनों
I
काम
want
करते
this
रहो
clip.
और जोश के
I'm
साथ।
living. I'm
मैं
living
हूँ
on
आपके
orange juices. I'm living on orange
ऑरेंजेस मत
juices.
पियो।
আরে কি ব্যাপার দেবাশিস আর শুভায়ন ওর দেখাশোনা কর ভাই ও মালটা কি করছে বলছি জুস খাচ্ছি শুভায়ন তোর জন্য দেবাশিস has made chicken curry so you will be happy
Hello.
okay
Arre, I
final
was having a bad headache, so I skipped the meal. I'll have it
yeah
now.
he said you were sleeping and he was making chicken curry 15 minutes on the show. Trisha, I know you've got to
Sorry.
leave so you can actually just answer this question and leave because you've got to go to
I'm
the
sorry. मैं अभी बात नहीं कर पाऊंगा. Really sorry.
okay so
Mute कर
quickly
लो.
15 minutes last 15 minutes on the show start with Trisha. Trisha, two of your players among the Indian boys, two people you think will put their hand up. Massive series. Last series was Cheteshwar Pujara, Rishabh Pant with the bat, Ajinkya Rahane leadership. Lot of guys put their hands up with the ball. Collective team effort. If you go and see Trisha, Australians had the individual milestones, highest run, highest wicket, etc. But India won the series. So, who, according to you, will be the two guys? Same question for everyone. Who, according to you, from what you've seen, three people are in Australia. So, you have seen them. Bharat and Trisha also, according to you, will put their hand up. Trisha first.
Well, I think for me, number one would be Virat Kohli because pressure situation. He's in all sorts of pressure, criticisms at the highest, and his form probably pretty low. So that is where I think he will relish this opportunity. And we have always seen that Virat Kohli thrives under pressure. That is where I think Virat Kohli. The other name, I'm hoping this is more of a hope, but I do hope that it's one of the young pacers where I would like to say probably Harshit Rana or Prasidh Krishna, one among the two of them. Not 100% sure which one, but I do feel because it's a huge tour for both of them. And with Prasidh Krishna, to be honest, Boryada, I will lean a little towards Prasidh Krishna because of his height. I've been mentioning this. I had mentioned this in some previous live as well. I think that because of his height, I feel he'll get that bounce and that he will trouble the batters. So I think Prasidh Krishna could have a career-defining series here.
Shubhan, I'll go to you, but Ujjwal, just to seriously actually answer your question. Why is this the biggest rivalry? Brazil lost 1-7 to Germany at home in a football World Cup. Will Brazil not be the greatest rivalry when Brazil play a Germany or an Argentina or an England or any of those footballing powers? Whenever Brazil plays, it will always be the biggest rivalry. Today, if a tennis star, whoever, a Roger can have a bad day when he played or a Novak loses three straight set game, do you think the next time when they play will not be the biggest rivalry? So it is not about a one-off. It is about many more. So you've got to understand things in perspective. And I'm actually trying to answer your question with a lot of seriousness. So I hope you try to understand the perspective and get the point rather than asking that question. Shubhan, your two people from having observed what you observed. Yes, Trisha, thank you. Yeah.
I will leave. Thank you.
Shubhan, your two players who you observed, and you can tell us that you think will put their hand up. I know you might just mention Dhruv Jurel.
I will say Jasprit Bumrah number one. I think this will be Bumrah's series. The way he only bowled briefly in the nets, but the way he bowled, he looked in super rhythm. Jasprit Bumrah will be number one. You said Dhruv Jurel, but I'll back Yashasvi Jaiswal to do well as an opener. It is not easy to succeed in Australia, but I think Jaiswal can be a huge hit here in Australia given the kind of bounce and the way he plays. I think Yashasvi Jaiswal and Jasprit Bumrah.
Devashish Sen, take that super chat. A lot of experts are counting India out. Boria, I love India team selection. Jurel is the one to watch out for. Sarfaraz was a disaster. Reddy over Jaddu, again a super move. India 3-1. Okay, that's a different one. Okay, but give that Ishan. That's also a super chat. One can be Devashish, one can be. Arey bhai, there are too many. Give one by one. Orko Roy. Devashish, take that. Do you think Akash Deep's bowling action, height, achievements against left-hand batters make him a dark horse? Devashish.
Yeah, to some extent, I would say, but I think here all that will matter is the bounce, and especially with both Harshit Rana and Prasidh Krishna are tall bowlers, so automatically they will invariably get a lot of bounce from the surface, and that might have influenced the team management in going in perhaps I would say perhaps going ahead with either of them ahead of Akashdeep. Yes, and Siraj for me is will be because he has the experience of playing in Australia. Yes, he might not have a greatest series against New Zealand, but definitely in Australia he would be when you don't have a Sami. When you don't have a Sami, then you should also always rely on experience along with Jasprit Bumrah. So that's the reason I think that India might go in with a either Harshit Rana is very likely Harshit Rana will be that third simmer, and Prasidh Krishna might come into play. But Akashdeep, he might feel a little it might be a little unfair on him because he has done well in that series against New Zealand.
There was another super chat. Ishan, can you put that out? Yeah, this one. Rahul Jawad. Rohit Juglan, take this. A lot of experts are counting India out, etc. Jurel is the one to watch out for. Expect him to score big. Sarfaraz was a disaster. Reddy over Jaddu, a super move. Take that.
I don't think, first of all, Sarfaraz was a disaster. You remember his century in Bangalore Test, and you'll see that, he was the only one who gave some hope for India at that in that game. Apart from Rishabh Pant, so he was your main batter at that point of time. And with the series against England, I think you have seen him scoring those 3 half centuries. So better you use use your words carefully rather than saying anything to every player. Disaster is a very big word. Look at the gravity of that word and then please use it. Just for the sake of it that you are sending a super chat, that doesn't mean that you can use any kind of word. So please, if in future you will take care of this, I think that will be good for all of us. But a lot of experts are counting India out. I don't know about a lot of experts because they have also counted out India on 20 at the series in 2021. Also, they have counted us out. 2018 also they haven't given us any chance because we haven't won in Australia before that. So I'm not very much seeing their prediction rather than focusing on what Indian team is doing and what their preparations are like. So yes, my focus is on that. Yes, Jurel is definitely one to watch out for. He was practicing right beside Virat Kohli, and कितनी बार होता है ऐसा? How come not focusing on Virat Kohli and you are seeing the other batter that wow, yeah, this batter is middling and playing on the back foot also really well. If he wants some ball, a back of length ball and two cut too close, he's also cutting it. He's leaving it really well. And right beside him, Virat Kohli is batting, and Virat was saying him. There was rain, there was drizzling started, and Virat saying tu khel. Virat was kept on saying. It's big words for Dhruv Jurel. 1 year back, maybe Dhruv Jurel was watching Virat Kohli on TV screen playing a test kick game, and then right after a year, he was just batting besides him. So big thing for Dhruv Jurel, I think, and he's earned it. If you see what he did in Melbourne, and after that, in these practice sessions in the match simulation. So yes. Reddy over Jadeja again is a super move. Let's see, because if it doesn't work out, then there will be a lot of backlash, towards the team management. But I think yes, you can trust Nitish Kumar Reddy. His pace, his lateral movement, because it's overcast already here. Rain yesterday. There is a possibility of rain tomorrow morning, so there will be assistance. And I was already saying in all different lives that win the toss, bowl first. Win the toss, bowl first is the condition here. So yeah, that's my thing. And my two players will be Bureda, Shubman Gill. I'm very optimistic on Shubman Gill. I still think that Rohit Sharma is your best horizontal batter. For the horizontal short of length, beat the cut shots, beat the pull shots. But I think similar, I can say similar to Shubman Gill also. If not the best, yes, your best is Rohit Sharma. But after that, I think I am trusting one guy, and that is Shubman Gill. And yes, with the ball, even if you're Dhruv Jurels, Virat Kohli, Shubman Gills, they score hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. You can't win a match if your bowler doesn't giving you 20 wickets. So we need a Jasprit Bumrah for the victory. We don't need 2 or 3 batters to score a lot of hundreds. We need a Jasprit Bumrah or a Harshit Rana or a Prasidh Krishna or a Mohammad Siraj or a Ravichandran Ashwin, to deliver continuously in this whole series, or, raising up their hand that now I'm performing in this game, I'm performing in this game. So for me, it's Shubman Gill and Jasprit Bumrah. Mute, Burida, mute.
Deep Mukherjee super chat. The Shubhan, take this. 2021 is the biggest win for us. We are proud of that team. What should be our plan against Head and Rana or Krishna? Also, Devashish the OG. What is OG? OG Manegi.
Original,
OG is
original,
Oh, okay.
originally.
OG is a term in a PUBG game, and it resembles the
Okay.
good destinies.
Okay, Shubhan, take this.
I think Bharat will be in a better place to answer that question. He has done a lot of tweets around how to get head out, coming round the wicket, taking the ball away. Bouncers are
You take
something.
the Rana Krishna bit. Bharat can take the head one.
Yes, yes. And Rana or Krishna, see, both of them are different sort of bowlers. Prasidh Krishna, of course, the release point is much higher than Harshit. Harshit gives more, is more consistent with his line and length, and has different sort of variety. Can seam the ball. If the new ball is even given to Harshit Rana, he can even swing the ball. So Harshit has different abilities here, different skill sets. Prasidh Krishna is purely hit to deck bowler. Of course, he can also seam the ball when pitching up front. But Harshit, I feel between Harshit and Prasidh, the biggest difference is about self confidence and what Bharat Arun said in your interview, Boria, that he's not afraid of big stages. He's not afraid of bigger opponents. We have seen that in the IPL. Whenever he has been put into tough situations, he has come out or he has bowled bravely. And in Australia, you need a brave heart. You need a big heart to bowl. And to bowl longer spells, I think Harshit Rana is better equipped to bowl longer spells than a Prasidh Krishna. But of course, Prasidh Krishna with that height can be an awkward customer in these conditions, especially in Perth. So let's see. I think we'll get to know tomorrow. If I'm picking the playing 11, I'll go with Harshit Rana tomorrow.
Ramraj
Over
or
to
Travis Head question. Bharat Ramraj.
Oh, Travis said, I guess I have written as well a lot of copies for F Sports. So, yeah, Travis said, see, is someone who doesn't move his back foot across much when it comes to facing pace bowling. So, basically, he's one of those batters, some might say gets beaten a lot on the outside edge, is very lucky. That is because his technique is such that he doesn't move his back foot across towards off stump much. So, there's always a chance that he will get beaten a lot on the outside edge. We saw in the World Cup final as well. So the general consensus is you go round the wicket, cut him for room, foolish length, good length, foolish length, and attack him on the inside edge and try to get him bowled or LBW. Yeah, occasional LBW you can look to shape it away slightly from round the wicket, but mainly it's about cutting the angle and trying to beat him on the inside edge. Many bowlers have done that. If even a left arm pacer can do that. Obviously, India don't have it from over the wicket. Again, cutting him for room and trying to clean him up, which Mitchell Stark did it a couple of, at least once he did it, and he's done it before as well against Travis Head in domestic cricket. So I think that's the main thing. The occasional short ball again from round the wicket, because he's one of those. Travis said is one of those batters, I guess, who is very good. When even if you give a little bit of room outside off, he's going to smash it. And from over the wicket, if you try to tuck him up, if you don't get it right, then he will play those hikes across the line. So he's very good with those two shots. So you have to really cut him for room, I guess, from round the wicket and attack him on the inside. That's a plan A. That's also a plan B. That's like playing with fire. That's like playing with his strengths. Something like from over the wicket, give him a lot of room. Let him play those cut shots and have fielders at, say, maybe deep backward point, deep cover. A few times it has worked. Some like Amar Jamil of Pakistan made it work in Australia last year. So that is plan B. But again, you're playing with fire because you're telling to him, yeah, come at me and try to play all those cut shots, and I will have all those fielders at third man at deep cover and even something like deep backward point. So there's, I think, the plans for pace bowling. When it comes to spin bowling, I guess Ashwin is the main threat. He will know what to do with Travis Head again from round the wicket. He will come and try to get him out.
Nicely analyzed. Two super chats. Rahul Java again. I'll answer that because you wanted me to. And then there's one for Bharat. Rohit will take that. Mr. Juglan, sorry, my comment was not for you, but me. Okay, I'll take that. Jurel won the England series, not Sarfaraz. Sarfaraz is a disaster. 150 was a fluke. Sarfaraz plays, India will be thrashed. Rahul, I've got to echo what Rohit said. 150 cannot come fluke. Okay, nobody scores 150 runs by fluke. And if that kind of a century comes by fluke, many more flukes can happen. And if that happens by fluke and he gets 200s in domestic cricket by fluke, let him be one of those fluke people. So I think we've got to understand that nothing comes fluke. I'm sure you will agree. If you do something really well and somebody comes and tells you, ye to tukka lag gaya, this was fluke, you will not want that to be said. And in the England series, if somebody doubts Sarfaraz's contributions, even Dhruv Jurel was wonderful. Nobody is taking anything away, but Sarfaraz's contributions, even in that England series with the bat, was quite important. Multiple 50s, he got himself there and looked the part. So in domestic cricket, in Indian conditions, except the tests number 2 and 3 against New Zealand, Sarfaraz has looked the part, because had he been not good enough against the English attack, he would not be part of the New Zealand series. India has a lot of wealth in terms of talent. So I would suggest restraint. Exactly was what Rohit was trying to tell you. I don't think undermining Sarfaraz by calling him a disaster or anything like that is doing justice, because I clearly understand that you're a fan who follows his cricket. So I would urge and request restraint on your part. There's a question, Rohit, take this. You've been critical of Virat Kohli, but you've called him arrogant or something in the past. We take all the critical questions, so maybe you want to answer this.
Yeah, obviously, there were times then when, I remember his press conference in South Africa, and I didn't really like that the way, journalists has asked him about the team, and he directly asked the journalist, then what will be your playing 11. So there were some incident, there were multiple incidents. This is not the first one. After losing the WTC final, he said that this was just another game. So WTC final is not, sorry sir, the WTC final is not just another game. So there were certain points when I was completely disagreed with what he said, and to ask, a journalist work is to just make a constructive criticism, or just ask you that whether it was a right team you went with or not. Playing more than one spinner in Lords 2018, playing Kuldeep Yadav in 2018, I don't think it made sense, because it was an overcast sky, and playing with he was very new with the Duke ball, playing with that ball. I don't think it made sense at that point of time. So I am not saying that, you made a disastrous call, whatever you have done, you don't know the captaincy. But my question is it right to go with this 11? If you want to answer, don't ask me, because I am not the Indian captain to tell you that what will be your playing 11. My work is to tick out this, that whether it was a right 11 or not. I am not someone who can give.
Let me step in here, Rohit. Let me step in here and answer this. A lot of people have called me brash and rude. I think I can explain this better on your behalf. Santosh, the answer is simple. Rohit was making a generic comment to a response where people were doubting the 2021 series, whether this is the biggest rivalry, etc., saying, "Oh, we aren't happy." And whenever Virat scores, so he was coming from the generic school of thought. Now, Rohit Juglan or Shubhan or Devashish or Bharat or me, if Virat Kohli plays that kind of knock against Pakistan that he did, are we daft? You think that we will say, "Oh, this is not a great knock"? All of us will say this is the greatest T20 innings. Having said that, if there are occasions where we feel that questions have not been answered and could have been answered in a more polite manner, should we not be in a position to also constructively criticize? Because I have said this umpteenth number of times on our shows, and I'm saying it again. It cannot be that either a cricketer is God or he's demon. He's also a human being. He is fallible. He can make mistakes, and on occasions there could be that he or she also becomes maybe rude, maybe something else. So it is our job to point it out. We are not. There are many others there. We are not masquerading as cheerleaders, and we are not extensions of this Indian cricket team who are cheerleaders and who will only tom-tom their achievements. That's not the point. Our job as the fourth estate is also to hold up the mirror. That's what we are trying to do. If at times we think we need to criticize, we will. If at times we think we will need to praise, we will. Neither at any occasion will we want to go overboard. So Rohit Sharma is not God. Virat Kohli is not God. Even Sachin Tendulkar, I keep saying this all the time, is not God. Sachin is one of my closest friends. Every time I've said this, and he's like, "Don't call me God. I'm a human being." It is us who have made this godlike kind of creations for all of these people. They are also human beings like you and I are. And every human being is fallible and can make mistakes. So that's where the judgment, or that's where that point in time, the criticism comes from. I hope I've been able to explain the position better. Prithvi Prasad, final super chat. We'll take this and close the show. My playing 11: KL Rahul, Jaiswal, Padikkal, Virat, Pant, Jurel, Nitish Reddy, Ashwin, Bumrah, Siraj, and Harshit Rana. I actually agree with this 11. I actually agree with this playing 11 cent percent. India should bat first, irrespective of the pitch. Look to put 300, 350 is a huge score, boss. If you get 300, 350 batting first in Perth, Prithvi, I can guarantee you India is going to win that game. If you get 350 on a Perth wicket batting first, India is going to win that game. But I'm in agreement with this team. Let me also get Shubhan's final thoughts to close. Shubhan, I agree with this team. Exact 11 for me. This is the team I would have gone with. Your thoughts?
I'll second that. And Prithvi has nailed his playing 11, and I think um, unless some last minute changes, I think this will be the playing 11 come tomorrow morning. India should bat first, irrespective of the pitch, and look to put 300, 350 runs. I would disagree with this point, Prithvi, because you would want to extract as much as you can from this Perth pitch initially. It will be fresh. There has been rain around it. It has drizzled a bit, so moisture, that grass, a bit of live grass also. So you would want your pacers, you would want to give your pacers that advantage, and run and try and run through the Australian batting attack. And if you can inflict early damages, then you will have that early advantage, and you can continue to put pressure on. So I would disagree on that point. If you win the toss, bowl first, and I think Jasprit Bumrah, being a pacer, would love to bowl first, and in this Perth pitch.
Given several more super chats just to answer. You are entitled to disagree, Baba. You are entitled to
Yeah,
disagree, because this is a show where we
yeah.
disagree with each other all the time. I disagree with Rohit, Shubhan, Devashish, Bharat, and they disagree with me. You know why? Because only if you disagree is there engagement. I disagree the maximum with my wife because we engage the most. So it's absolutely fine when you. The only thing is respectfully disagree. That's it.
Hmm.
Respectfully disagree, constructively, critically disagree. You are 100% welcome on this platform, because unless you disagree, how will there be engagement? Because then all of us will say ha 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 to everything. That's not the point. So you are 100%, let me say this, entitled to disagree with us, and we will always respect that. On that note, it's been a 1 hour long show, folks. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Devashish and Shubhan will join Rohit. Shubhan will also do Hindi. Devashish, Shubhan will flip into English and Bangla. Gargi will be in the studio. Bharat will join. We'll have a packed house. Rohit and Shubhan for Hindi from Perth, from the Optus Stadium with fans. Plenty to look for. Border Gavaskar Trophy. cricket's greatest rivalry to unfold. Will it be an Indian morning? And if India doesn't have a good day, then how many of you will blame the IPL? I leave you with that thought. I think everybody will start blaming the IPL auction. IPL is the favorite whipping horse for sure. On that note, thank you very much, folks, for watching. Subscribe to the platform and love you for all your comments.